enough without the microphone, but can everybody in the back hear me? All right, so I am an independent insurance broker. Right now, I am public enemy number one for most consumers. Just to check the room here, how many people in here have some form of insurance? All right, so everybody. Now, out of those, how many absolutely love insurance? Awesome, we've got a few. So, I'm not alone. When I say I'm a full-service insurance broker, I am able to help with personal lines, property, casualty, also commercial lines when we're talking about home services or even professional services, bonds, municipal bonds. Now, we also can help with health, life, and an assortment of other things that we don't need every day, like travel insurance and other things. Now, I'm not up here to promote myself. I'm simply just stating that insurance is diverse. There are very many layers to the onion, and as we all know, we have some personal experience. So what I'd like to talk about is something that you guys can take to your own community, something that you guys can talk about with your own friends, family, your own customers, even prospects. Because the insurance market is changing drastically. How many of us live around here in the Peoria, Buckeye area? We've heard on Facebook that Progressive has dropped home insurance. No, nobody?
Okay, the mic has stopped working. You could put that down.
Yeah, sorry. So I bring this up because it is something I'm seeing in a lot of groups that this insurance company's exited the market, or this insurance company's pulled out of, for example, California. State Farm's been big out there. Now, why that happens is not the conversation. What's going to happen next? So for home insurance, what I am experiencing is insurance companies are asking for an inspection prior to receiving payment, prior to submitting the application. They want to make sure that the roof is in good condition. They want to make sure that the trees around the property are not overhanging the roof. And why is that a problem? Here in the desert, we don't have that many fires. But if the insurance company is operating throughout the nation, it's easier for them to have a uniform policy and procedure that says, yeah, you know, if it's 5 feet over there, we're going to ask you to go and trim that tree. If it's 10 feet over, for example, we may just say flat out, no thank you, not right now. Now, the property inspections are coming up frequently. Now, on car insurance, what I'm finding is that if somebody is renting a home and they're recently moved, the insurance company is pulling out the old address and saying, we need proof that they no longer live there, or that the persons in the home, for example, apartment communities may have neighbors that they pull up in the records when we go into the driving data. And we're saying, well, I don't know them. Well, they're asking for proof that we don't know them. Like, how do we prove we don't know them? It's very difficult for the common person out there who's already struggling with rent, who's already struggling with groceries, that they're going to have another challenge to getting home insurance, car insurance at an affordable rate. Now, how am I on time?
About 6 minutes.
When it comes to the other side of what we've heard in the economy here with tariffs, and we're talking about this big shakeup in federal funding. I have already had clients on Medicare call me and say that they have not received their full Social Security check, that they have not received the Medicaid funding that they were expecting. And that's also, again, hurting their every day-to-day costs. And when we get into recent news, people were laid off. We know that health insurance, there's this big push at the end of the year, you gotta get your health insurance. Throughout the year, they can also get health insurance. It's called a special enrollment period. So if somebody has recently lost their job, encourage them to contact a broker, go to the marketplace, because they have about 2 months to get coverage without having to go through extra hoops. I can talk about this stuff for a lot longer. I really want to provide you guys with some helpful tools and talking points that you can talk with your community about. Are there any specific questions that I can narrow down?
You do auto?
Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Windshields.
Yes.
Now, even though it's not your fault, a rock hits your windshield and you have to have it replaced, it's held against you because it's a claim. Even if you have glass coverage. Insurance companies have too much power. I think that's wrong. Because I had 2 windshields that had to be replaced, literally crack all the way across. And that was with Progressive, which I'm no longer with, because they dropped me because I had 2 windshields replaced in 1 year. Now I hear that's happening, and that they're gonna send drones over the houses to look into the backyards to make sure of these things you're talking about. And if they have any of these difficulties, if they have a claim, they will not pay it because you had this and that in your backyard. Is that true?
So there's 2 things there. First, the windshields. Some insurance companies, not all, I'd say like 5% out of the hundreds out there, have actually said windshield is a claim. Claim is a claim, claim is a claim. Incidents, claims, they're all the same. Other companies have said incidents, incidents, if an incident happened, meaning something notable on the record, a tally mark. Meaning I called the company, they told me it's not covered, I hung up the phone. They tallied it. So first, my caution, always call your agent. Always call the person who you bought the policy from. Do not call the claims number unless you know for sure 100% you're going to file a claim and you're ready to pay a deductible. Now in regards to windshields, my opinion in the current market, take it off. You can pay for the coverage if it makes dollars and cents, but if you're not going to use it, if you're like, hey, I'm gonna go to Safe Flight, I got a guy down the road, I'll pay out of pocket, just take it off the insurance, save yourself the money. I'd say the end of the decade, they're gonna be figuring things out still. And the reason I say that is because old cars, a windshield might be $300 to replace, no big deal. New cars, Tesla's almost $2,000 to replace it. Why? Oh, well, there's a sensor that tells you when the water dropped and they gotta, and then. Oh, but wait, hold on. The windshield glass only costs, let's say, $600. Where's the other 1,000? Well, the sensor is embedded, and somebody who's not an insurance and windshield installer, it's a tech person, has to come out and calibrate that sensor. That is where Safe Flight's having the problem. Safe Flight is having, and forgive me if anybody works for Safe Flight or has that connection, my understanding is that is the problem. That the calibration is difficult to coordinate because the windshield needs to be just right, the calibration needs to be just right, all the conditions need to be just right, and if schedules don't match up, then you have to go back to square one. So when it comes to this part about drones, the state of Arizona is a little bit more relaxed in the Department of Insurance and Regulation, which is why we do have autonomous vehicles out in some areas. Drone usage to, for example, in real estate, we use them to take pictures of the property. So it would be similar to that respect. I'm with you though, as an individual. I don't want them in my yard. I don't want them peeking over my fence. I believe that is an invasion of privacy. Satellites, on the other hand, Google Maps, Google Earth, same thing. They're using that, and they're using the images on there that they're saying, hey, if this was taken 6 months ago, it probably needs to get fixed now. If this was taken 10 years ago, we'd like the homeowner to send us a picture of the property so that we can see what it looks like now. Does that make sense at all?
That's what I think about all that.
It makes sense.
And to be continued.
Do you have a quick question back there?
Yes.
Well, maybe not a question, but kind of an answer to his question. I'm a realtor, and I can't tell you how many calls I've been out in the last month where insurance companies are going to cancel homeowners' policy because of a satellite view of their roads. Yeah, so if you want to talk to me later, but we offer that free inspection, and then you can send your insurance company an updated review of your house to make sure that it's covered.
All right,
I'm
so,
over experience with that is happening.
right.